Hello everyone, Mr. Nacho here, and before we start today's video, I wanted to thank everyone for all of the support that you've given me. We have officially reached over 1000 subscribers, which means we are now officially partnered with YouTube. A round of applause for everyone involved. Thank you so much, and let's start with the build. Today I wanted to share with you a SparkFire build that looks like this. The main archetype is Hunter and the secondary is Gunslinger, which is very standard. We have the Hunter's Mark and the Bullet Storm. We have the drip of the Navigator Helm, Technician Bodyplate, Night Stalker Pants, and Space Worker Gloves. Altogether, I think that it looks really nice. When it comes to the Relic, we are using the Tranquil Heart, even though you are welcome to use any other ones that you like. I would recommend the Salvaged Heart or the Enlarged Heart if you are going for something else. Other than that, it's personal preference. There are plenty to choose from. When it comes to the fragments, we are going with the ranged crit chance, crit damage, and ranged damage. And the star of the show is the SparkFire shotgun. It applies fire damage by itself, so we already have one element covered. Then we wanted to go with the two other ones, basically. So the options that you have are the setup that I have right here, which is Overflow as a mod and the mutator Fetid Wounds, which will be fully stacked whenever you use your mod. Or you could go with the Corrosive Rounds to increase the crit chance by 15% and Twisting Wounds to increase ranged damage of this weapon to 20% to bleeding enemies and also apply bleeding. We will, however, use this more of a gun rather than a dot applicator like in the previous builds. So right now we'll just show the true potential of the SparkFire shotgun. It's insane in my opinion. It deals with the bosses incredibly quickly. We just dealt with the one true king in like less than a minute, like maybe 30 seconds. I don't really know exactly, but it was extremely quick kill. When it comes to melee, I just went with something that looks nice with this build, which is the Atom Smasher with Steadfast on it. And as the secondary, you might want to go for Enigma, simply because it's just good with dealing with things that are grouped up. When it comes to the Amulet, we are using the Nightweaver's Grudge, and we get 20% crit chance and haste whenever we are within 21 meters of an entity suffering from a status effect. And we will be applying status effect with everything really, except our melee weapon. The 21 meters comes from the Amplitude trait. We have 8 points in it, which increases AoE size by 40%. And Amplitude also increases the range of the electrical stream of Enigma whenever it jumps to a different target, so your AoE just got bigger. When it comes to the rings, we are using the probability cord because we will have quite a lot of crit chance. We use Stone of Malevolence to keep up our mod almost permanently, because we will by default deal burning damage and we will deal corrosive damage whenever we crit or hit a weak spot. So we will get the mod extremely quickly thanks to the elemental damage that we deal natively. And then we have a Honey Crystal, which will deal 5% additional damage for each status effect the target is suffering from. And basically the target will be suffering from 3 effects all the time, since we'll just keep shooting them. And on top of that we have Xania's Malice, which increases our weak spot damage and it stacks up to 3. This is very nice since we will be running Handling 10 points, which will reduce our weapon spread and recoil by 40%. So the reticle is pretty nice. If you want to get it even smaller, you might want to run the Tranquility font. This will be a little bit more precise, but it's not really required. And when it comes to the rest of our traits, we are using Longshot and Ammo Reserves, which are extremely important. The other thing I forgot to mention is that you might want to run something else rather than Gunslinger. The other good option is Challenger, but whenever you run Challenger, you will obviously want to run the Rampage skill, and the Rampage will get stacked in like 3 shots. Then there will be 10 seconds of Berserk and then it will be gone. So this ability will actually be way shorter than the Gunslinger's Bullet Storm. So that's why I recommend Gunslinger's Bullet Storm. And if you choose to go with the Challenger, I would highly recommend speccing into Ammo Reserves, because the ammo on this gun is not great. It runs through the ammo extremely quickly, but with Gunslinger it's pretty manageable. Then we have Triage, Regrow, Fortify, Vigor to be as tanky as possible, Spirit and Expertise to get reduced skill cooldowns and increased mod power generation. Then we have Handling to reduce the reticle size, Footwork to increase our movement speed while we are aiming, and already mentioned before, Amplitude 8 points to increase the AoE size, which affects the Nightweaver's Grudge, and the Enigma in this build. Let's do a quick DPS test and see how this weapon performs on the dummies. Yeah, so as you can see, we were getting about 4500 to 5k DPS, depends on how much we crit. The damage itself is great. The only weakness of this build is whenever you are going with against a boss that has a elemental resistance, but other than that, this build should be able to deal with everything. So this would be all for the introduction. I hope that you enjoyed it. Once again, thank you for all the support. Please enjoy the clips and have a great day.